What is going on, Eagles family? We are back with another film session, and I wanted to come in here and talk about the Eagles front seven. While we know players like Jaylen Carter, Nolan Smith, and Jordan Davis will make their plays, seeing other players in the front seven step up shows that the sky is the limit for this defense. So let's dive in and look at what some of these players did this past week. So in this play here, I want to start off with Jaylen Carter and Nolan Smith. Can't avoid these guys because they went out there and really made a difference this past game. With Jaylen Carter, one of the quickest defensive tackles off the snap, attacks Cooper Beebe's inside shoulder and finds his way to the backfield. Nolan Smith, seeing this play develop, gets his hands on Rico Dotto for a tackle for loss. This kind of teamwork is crucial for achieving their goals on defense in the postseason. So activating the system. So running this play here, just studying the movements from Jaylen Carter, just seeing him attacking Cooper Beebe's inside shoulder, driving his legs, and getting all the way to the backfield. And he has been doing this all season, so we know that this player is fully capable of being able to do this. But locking in on Nolan Smith, seeing it, and going out there and getting his hands on the running back. And the thing is, if this defense is going to take that next step, it's not going to just come down to a Jaylen Carter, N'Kobe Dean, Nolan Smith. A lot of these guys are going to have to step up and contribute to this defense. And when you're going up against a player like Jaylen Carter, you have to pay attention to what he's doing right at the snap. He is one of those snappy type of defensive tackles. When you have a player that can be so sudden, it's hard for these offensive linemen to be able to recover. And these are the results that you get when you have a defensive tackle that's aggressive like him. Because there are a lot of times when you see with him, he is aiming for your inside shoulder because he believes with his power, he can get into the backfield and get leverage quickly. But seeing him getting into the backfield quickly and Nolan Smith going out there and finishing the tackle is what you want to see out of this defense. Here's another play from Carter and Smith where Carter knifed into the backfield quickly again, while Smith disengaged from the right tackle and got his hands on a ball for a strip fumble. These are the type of plays that are game changing and can shift momentum. So we'll go ahead and split it. So running this play here, just watching Jaylen Carter completely throw himself at Tyler Smith. You know, with Jaylen Carter, he is such an aggressive type of defensive tackle, and he's one of the players that can reset the line of scrimmage quickly. But seeing Nolan Smith lock his eyes on the running back, get away from Terrence Steele, get that right arm in there, and strip the ball away. And these are the plays that defensive coaches love to see when it comes down to their players. Can you be a player that can go out there and get your hands on the ball? And with Nolan Smith, he has really been turning up these past few games. I think that once they get into the playoffs, he is going to be one of the key pieces to this defense if they're going to take that next step. And a lot of these running backs in the NFL, if you can get your hands on the ball, they will cough it up. But seeing Jaylen Carter going out there and being aggressive on top of Nolan Smith, finding a way to disengage and get his hands on the ball and force a turnover, it ended up being another dominating rep for this defense throughout this game. If you want to see some of the best Philadelphia Eagles helmets and upgrade your man cave or your room, check out Green Gridiron's page in the description. These helmets are torch, available in mini or regular size with the visors, and they are built to last a lifetime. Click the link and use promo code JC Network for a discount on these amazing helmets. Now let's get back to the film session. More Ojimo flashed in this game as well. Seeing him get his hands inside, bench press the right tackle, disengage, and get his hands on the ball carrier is exactly what you want from this player. He showed that he can make impactful plays even with the other dominant players on defense. So let's run it. So locking in on Ojimo, just seeing this player engage in contact. The thing is, when you're going up against a guy like Terrence Steele, he does have a lot of issues once these players get their hands inside. But seeing the power from Ojimo, being able to bench press him, using that right arm to extend, disengage, and find a way to be able to get to the running back really stood out on this play. And when you do have players like Morrow, you have players like Jaylen Carter, a lot of these athletes in the front seven, if everybody can be physical like this, with these offensive lines, there could be a player that could be the weakest link. So when your defense is all playing with that physical kind of energy, somebody can go out there and make a play. So with Ojimo, he was one of the players who was ready to get in on that action. So seeing him being able to get his hands inside, bench press the offensive lineman, and make a play on the ball, this was another solid rep by the defense. Here's another play that I like from Morrow, where he used a swim move to get to the backfield quickly, disrupting the offense's timing. So zooming in on Ojimo, just watching that quick swim move, This is why coaching matters when it comes down to the NFL. Using those swim moves as well as club moves, quickly get to the backfield. Now, he didn't make the tackle on his rep, but it bought enough time for the defenders to get there and get a tackle for loss. And the thing is, when you're playing that defensive tackle position, you're not going to always be that player making the tackles, but can you be a player that can be able to blow off timing and reset the line of scrimmage? And it's great to be able to talk about these players because you don't really hear too much from Hunt as far as film sessions on YouTube. You don't really hear too much about Williams as well as Sweat. So we want to come in here and show these players some love too, especially if they're going out there and making plays. So great play by Ojimo on his rep. Milton Williams is another player who jumped off the screen in this past game. His club swim move against Tyler Smith really caught my attention. This was very impressive to me because with Tyler Smith, he rarely gives up plays like this. So seeing this from Williams is very promising for the defense. So we go ahead and spin it. So watching Williams getting off the ball, using a club move and a quick swim move. And sometimes that's all it takes to be able to get away from these players. With Tyler Smith, he barely makes these mistakes. He's a very good player. But sometimes when you get down to the technique, you can beat anybody on the offensive line. And seeing all these guys just going out there and making a difference, I'm sure with these kind of plays, it gets everybody hyped as far as the Eagles organization as well as the fans, because they know if they're going to take that next step to getting to where they want to go in the postseason, it cannot be just a few players. It has to be a collective thing because there is no I in team. And with Milton Williams' skill set, he's not the player that's going to be jumping off the screen all throughout the game. But if he can go out there and get one or two game changing plays, that can be good enough to get this team where they need to be. Milton Williams wasn't the only standout out there. Josh Sweat made his presence known too. With key tackles in the run game, it's important to highlight these other players alongside the main stars. They're making crucial contributions to this defense. So let's run it. So running this play here, just watching Milton Williams running all the way across the field. It's so good to see players making plays on the opposite side of the field. But seeing Rico Dowdle, he tries to cut it in. Milton Williams is in the way. Rico tries to turn it up to the left side, and Josh Sweat was there to be able to clean it up. And it's good to see because Sweat was able to reach those long arms across from Edoga, number 71, and still make the tackle. And this is another one of those reps here that shows team ball. Everybody doing their job and being disciplined. And these are the plays here that I love to be able to break down because a lot of these times when you watch film sessions on YouTube or when you're seeing the game in real time, you do not catch these plays. So it's great to be able to see these plays in slow motion and zoomed in. So when you have players not named Carter, Smith, or Davis going out there and making plays, Eagles family, this is fireworks. These other players need to step up, and they did exactly that this past game. So on this final play here, Jalen Hunt was another player in the front seven that got some action. You will see him engage with Tyler Guyton and find a way for him to be able to get away and stop the ball carrier. So running this play here, just seeing Hunt engage and shed. I love to see these trenches battles on a defensive line as well as the offensive line. But with Hunt on this play, he went out there and got away from Guyton and made the tackle. And literally, these players was doing this all throughout this game. You got to have that wolf pack kind of energy, finding ways to get to the ball and be aggressive. So this front seven showed up this past game for sure. So it's going to be good to see how it all plays out with the defense as well as the offense. Jalen Hurts, hopefully he has a speedy recovery. He is needed when it comes down to that offense. But when you have explosive players like AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, as well as guys like Devontae Smith, you can win games with Kenny Pickett. But as far as this defense, that front seven is going to have to continue to be aggressive and continue to keep bringing those guys into rotation. And usually, when you can keep everybody fresh in that front seven and bring these players in waves, it makes it that much harder for these offenses in the league. So, comment below and let me know what you guys think about this defensive front seven and what do y'all think they need to do to be able to take that next step. So, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss out on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, Eagles family, talk to y'all soon. Gone.